Like and subscribe. I want to get straight to this. First of all, I am not talking about Kevin Samuels, the man. I am talking about Kevin Samuels' philosophy. I'm talking about his philosophy. And his philosophy is not about families. His philosophy is about relationships between men and women. Understand, you can have a relationship with your parents, with your kids, with your friends, so forth and so on. So don't confuse relationships with what is necessary for the survival of humanity. Do not confuse relationships with what is necessary for survival. All relationships are different, and they are based on what you want your relationship to conclude, what you want your relationship to conclude, or what your objective is in your relationship. Nature isn't interested in relationships. Nature is interested in survival. And in this case, we're talking about the survival of humanity. Nature has genetically created men and women to procreate and produce children, as well as a individual whose job it is to protect and provide. Another individual whose job it is to nurture and provide a need. A man is as much a helpmate to a woman as a woman is a helpmate to a man. They both have roles to fulfill that will allow humanity to survive. And these roles are necessary. Now, as time changes and things rearrange, the roles will also change and rearrange to an extent. But the physical characteristics of both human beings will remain the same. This is only common sense. You can't say that a man does not submit to a woman when he provides and protects. And you can't say that a woman does not submit to a man when she nurtures and takes care of the family. And she also, as he takes care of her by providing and protecting, she takes care of him by making sure he is able to provide and protect, by taking care of meals and the family type things. That is how she submits. In essence, we are talking about submitting to the necessity of the family. We are talking about submitting to the necessity of the family. Should an unmarried woman submit to a man for what? Should an unmarried man submit to a woman for what? Nature is about family. Family is about survival. And we also have to include, when we look at the dynamics between men and women, we must also look at society. because society plays a role in the protection and survival of humanity. It's just as simple as that. So don't confuse relationships with survival of humanity and nature. And that seems to be the problem. The relationship between a man and his girlfriend is not the same as a man's relationship with his wife or family. Family comes with obligations. Relationships do not. And they serve no purpose as far as nature is concerned. Nature doesn't care about your desires. Now, let's talk about Kevin Samuels in the content of a family. Should a man wait till he has made so much money and then marry a woman in her early 20s that is fertile to create a family? Well, if that's what he wants to do and she agrees to it, should a man marry a woman his age and they work together to provide what is necessary to take care and support a family? If they want to. See, the reality of the situation is, in a relationship that is designed to create a family, they should communicate their objectives and what is necessary to complete those objectives. It's just as simple as that. Now, in the production of providing the necessities, people tend to fall in love based on needs and necessity and respect. When people achieve their obligations toward one another, which is to submit to one another, then they have the foundation necessary for love, beginning with respect and honesty. Now let's look at Kevin Samuels then. If you follow his diagram, in this society, a man stands to lose everything if they divorce. But understand this: if he has worked if he has worked hard to have a family and provide for that family, then in the event of a divorce, he should pay to ensure that that family will be taken care of. That is the choice he made. So you know how this society works. Don't play games. You know that if you marry a woman, if you're 35 and you marry a woman that's 25 that did not help you gain the things that you have, and she has your children, well, guess what? Provide and protect. That's what you said you were working for. in accordance to Kevin Samuel's philosophy, you should work and then marry a young, fertile woman. But understand one thing. If all you're doing is bringing money to the family, and you have attained all these other things, does that mean that she respects you? I mean, you're in this society. I mean, you complain about gold diggers, but then you marry a woman that brings nothing to the table, but a cookbook. Well, women have physical desires the same as men do. And if you think it's all right if she agrees that you can go out and cheat, then can she go out and cheat too? I mean, because according to Kevin Samuels, women control sex. If she controls sex and you control the relationship, well, you've got your relationship. So are you going to take her control of sex away from her? I'm just asking you a question. I'm not telling you what you should or you shouldn't do. But I'm telling you this. If you're out there cheating on a woman, is it fair for her to just sit home and watch the kids? Shouldn't you both be involved in your kids' lives? Shouldn't you, instead of running around cheating, shouldn't you be spending that time with your family and raising a wholesome family? I'm not saying what you should or shouldn't do. I'm telling you to think for yourself and understand this. You submit to the family. The man and the woman submit to the family, and the family becomes the relationship by nature. This whole idea about men cheating on their wives and exercising their options is cheating on your family and the person that you have joined in partnership with to create this family. You are cheating on them. Now, you can call it anything you want. It's kind of like, it reminds me of calling a homosexual gay. You're just trying to call it something to legitimize it. That's all. Cheating on a woman and calling it exercising options, it's still cheating on your woman. Being a homosexual is not gay. It's being a homosexual. Trying to decorate it with Christmas ornaments doesn't change what it is. If you want respect, you have to give respect. And that is the biggest problem I have with Kevin Samuel's philosophy as it intermingles with creating a family. If a man and woman do not plan on having kids, then what difference do it make if they cheat on each other or not? As far as nature is concerned, you're not producing anything. You don't have any children to set an example for. I mean, if you want to teach your children morality, virtue, respect, you don't cheat on your wife. And that is the main problem I have with Kevin Samuels, because he's not talking about family or nurturing children or raising children. He's talking about relationships, getting rich, having so much money, and Children are a side note. Now, some guys will say, well, this is a man's nature. This is a man's nature. No. Men and women both enjoy sex. The only reason why this submit thing came up is because men want to control women. Men have been using their masculinity to control women. Should a woman be promiscuous? No. Should a man be promiscuous? As far as nature is concerned, no. Unless there is a necessity for men to be promiscuous. If you're in a situation where women outnumber men, then nature's going to obviously turn her head, because nature is only interested in the survival of humanity. Which is to say, if all things are no longer equal, then it is a necessity for the survival of humanity for men to have more than one wife. But there has to be a reason that satisfies the necessity of the survival of humanity. It's just as simple as that. Do not confuse relationships with the survival of humanity, which is a necessary, which is why we were created to continue life as human beings. This isn't rocket science. Like and subscribe. Think about what I said, and then you have to consider: do you want to be in a relationship, or do you want to be in a, or do you want to be, or do you want to be of value to society, to be fruitful and multiply? With that, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.